On behalf of the Borough Council and the townspeople of Slough, I present this film to the 11th Hussars with our warmest wishes. This film, taken at the mayor-making and the adoption ceremony 1959, marks the first association between the town and the regiment.
The outgoing mayor, Alderman Mrs. M.J. Morgan, having taken her place on the dais for the last time, the new mayor was formally proposed and seconded, and the official party left the council chamber to inform Councillor Mrs. D.M. Smallbone that she had been elected Mayor of Slough for the ensuing year. After a fanfare by trumpeters of the 11th Hussars, the town clerk read the prescribed declaration of office which the mayor duly signed. The mayor, now being entitled to act, was invested with the robes and chain of office. Afterwards, the proposer, Alderman P. Lightfoot, and the seconder, Councillor W. Tong, spoke expressing the sentiments of the council on the choice of Councillor Mrs. D.M. Smallbone as mayor. The newly installed mayor then suitably replied and mentioned matters with regard to her year of office. There were large crowds at Agar's Plough on August 3rd, 1959, to watch the historic event of the ceremony of adoption of the Regiment of the 11th Hussars by the Borough of Slough. The Mayor of Slough, Councillor Mrs. D.M. Smallbone, J.P., accompanied by her deputy and the town clerk, mounted the platform together with Major J. Anderson, C.B., C.B.E., D.S.O., and Colonel A.T. Smale, D.S.O., the colonel of the regiment. The mayor then spoke of the great pleasure the Borough Council and the people of Slough had in the adoption of the 11th Hussars, and invited the officers and men of the regiment to look upon Slough as their hometown. The 11th Hussars, Prince Albert's own, were formed in 1715 as a cavalry regiment and served in Egypt, the Peninsular War, and the charge of the Light Brigade. Prince Albert of Saxe-Coburg, when escorted by the regiment on his way to marry Queen Victoria, was so impressed by their turnout that he requested them to wear his crimson uniform and be named after him. The regiment still wears crimson trousers and is nicknamed the Cherry Pickers. During the Second World War, the 11th Hussars, who by then had become an armoured car regiment, led the 7th Armoured Division, the famous Desert Rats, from El Alamein to Italy, Northwest Europe and Berlin. Since the war, the regiment has been stationed in Germany and Malaya and returned to England in 1956. After the town clerk had read the deed of adoption, the mayor presented it to Colonel A.T. Smale, DSO, colonel of the regiment. Colonel Smale then acknowledged the honour and thanked the townspeople of Slough. A replica of the deed of adoption now hangs in the mayor's parlour at the town hall, and a few weeks after the ceremony, the mayor, on behalf of the people of Slough, received leather-bound volumes of the history of the regiment. Also in the parlour is the silver replica of the regimental badge on a tablet of black marble cut from Hitler's desk in the German Chancellery. The marble tablet is one of the trophies of the regiment's advance into Berlin.